Okay, today we're going to be going over how you can get the underlying data from a map that does not seem to have a data download button. I'm looking, I don't know, maybe it is over here or something, but for the purposes of this session, let's pretend like there is no download button. Oh yeah, I think it would be like somewhere over here and it's grayed out, right? Share map, I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to leverage our knowledge of what is actually creating this map in the background. If I zoom in, I can see that I've got like a lot of really fun data that maybe I would love to download. I think these are parcel level. Yeah, this is parcel level information about, what neighborhood it's in, even some inspection and appraisal information that might be useful to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click somewhere not on the map. Right clicking on the map will not help you, but right click in a white space and open up your inspector and then navigate over to your network tab. What I want to do is I want to refresh my page at this point so that I can start seeing some stuff flow into here. So this is all of the different things that are being loaded when I refresh this page. I'm looking for a map file, and I know that ArcGIS has a couple of different templates or ways they construct their URLs. So what I want to look for first is map server, all one word. And all of these, you see all of these files here, these are all related to what I'm looking for. I can see that this is probably related specifically to the the city of Houston ArcGIS service. So I'm just going to right click on one of these. Really doesn't matter which one because we're going to be going back. We're going to be kind of chopping up this URL in a second. I'm going to go to copy URL. And then I'm going to come over here to a new tab. I'm going to paste it in and I'm going to hit enter. And I can kind of see that, oh, okay, well, that's a little bit of data, but I don't actually know what any of this is doing or what it is right now. And it only looks like there's a couple of different things. Then they doesn't like to be like a lot of information in there. So what I'm going to do actually is like start removing different sections of this URL and see what it can get me. Okay, invalid, that's no good. Move flood hazard and so, oh, what's this? So now I can see that I've come to this sort of like map or a table of contents rather, where I have a variety of different things I can dig down into. Let's look at that land use information. Okay, I can see that there's a couple of things in here, legend, layers and tables. What I want to do is I want to drill down into the one specific layer. Sometimes you'll see multiple layers here. Right now this is just one layer, so that's cool. I'm just going to click on land use grouped. And I can see some information about this layer that might help me. I can see that it is a polygon, right? So instead of a point or a line, it's a polygon. I can see that whenever I query it, it's only going to return max 2,000 records. So if there are more than 2,000 records in here, I'm going to want to iterate over. And it's also telling me that it's going to support exporting in JSON or GeoJSON. So these are all really helpful things for me to know. And then if I scroll down a little bit more, this is some render information. It's just telling me what colors to use for different values, almost like this is kind of like the key that they're setting up. That's not really important to us right now. That's for style. What is important to us, though, is all the fields that are going to be associated with the data points with our map file. So, I can see what all of them are. There's not always a great definition of what they are, but in this case, we can make out a lot of what's happening here. Geez, there's a lot of information. This is great. But if I scroll all the way to the bottom, I see supported operations, and this one right here, query. I want to click that, and then I come to this like really intimidating looking page. Don't worry, it'll be fine. We will walk through this together. Most of these fields you can kind of leave as is, but there are a couple that you really want to focus in on. The first one is the where field. this is a filtering field. So if I just do where 1 equals 1, that's going to grab me everything. Back where we saw all of these fields, we could use these fields. Maybe I just want the parcels in one zip code or something. I could use like zip equals and then the zip code that I want. But for right now, we're just going to say, just give me everything. So 1 equals 1. Another thing we're going to do is the geometry type. So we already saw from the thing before, the screen before, it's a polygon. So we're just going to set that so there's no confusion there. This is nice for us to know. It's returning things in feet, units in feet. So if there's any kind of like calculations we need to be making, just be aware of that. There might also be some calculated geometry fields, so just be aware of that. You can't always just trust that to be the area that you're always going to be working with. We want to make sure return geometry is set to true because we do want these to be mapping files in the end. And then we are going to scroll. There's one more. Oh, outfields. This is going to tell the system, in addition to the geometry, what else to return to us. What of those fields that we saw in the last screen we should return. And we just want to put an asterisk there to mean everything. Just give me everything. If you know exactly what fields you want, go ahead and put that in there. Sometimes I get confused by the syntax of it though, so I usually just export everything and then minimize later on in my mapping program. Okay, and then the last thing we have to check is how do we want the return to be given to us? We don't want HTML, we want either JSON or GeoJSON. I always pick GeoJSON. And then what I want to click is get. It'll take a second probably, but boom, look at that happy mess. If I click pretty print, it'll try to reorganize itself so I can see a little bit more quickly if it's what I want. This looks like exactly what I would expect. I bet you there are only 2,000 features in here, but considering that this looks to be property level information, I can guess that there are way more than 2,000. So just a big disclaimer on this. But at this point, I can say save as, and I can save this as Hue Properties. Just save it to my desktop for now. Terrible practice. And I can see I have Hue Properties GeoJSON. It is a 7 megabyte file, which tracks considering how many properties are probably in there. And if I just wanted to do a really quick inspection on what was returned to me, I can open up a program like QGIS and just very quickly bring her in there. What did I call it? Hue property. Open, add. It'll ask me. Yep, look at that, 2,000. That's what I thought. Look at that. That looks like the shape of Houston. Phenomenal. I love it.